Well, before I read what is printed in your order of service as the reading today, I just wanted to give you some introduction. This reading comes from a Sangha talk based on a Zen koan. Now, a Sangha is a group of meditators covenanted to support one another over time. We have a Sangha at our church, actually, our meditation group. A koan is a pithy little poem, a question or a statement meant to be brought to the meditation cushion to help foster awakening. A few more things about this koan. First, the priest is hanging by his teeth from a branch in a tree. We aren't told why he can't use his feet or his hands, but he just can't. He only has his teeth, okay? So, secondly, it mentions this term, Bodhidharma from the West. Well, Bodhidharma from the West is just the teachings of the Buddha that entered more Eastern countries like China from India, which was from the west of China, is from the west of China. So it just means teachings of the Buddha, okay? Or it could mean just the truth, okay? Thirdly, while we who are not Zen priests might not have any trouble at all not answering impertinent questions if we were to be, say, hanging by our teeth on a branch, a Zen priest whose duty it is to answer questions would feel responsible to do that, to answer questions, even if it put their life at stake. So, here is the reading, and I invite you to imagine yourself as the priest hanging by a branch by his teeth, or perhaps the person asking the question up from the ground. The priest, Zangyan, or Kyojin in Japanese, said, "It is as though you were up in a tree, hanging from a branch with your teeth. Your hands and feet can't touch any branch. Someone appears beneath the tree and asks, 'What is the meaning of Bodhidharmas coming from the West?' If you do not answer, you evade your responsibility. If you do answer, you lose your life. What do you do?" Okay, raise your hand if you've imagined yourself in the tree or answering the question. Okay, come on. Imagine yourself there in this story. Okay. This case invites you to find your life in a tree and in a question, but honestly, it asks a pretty weird question. What is the meaning of Bodhidharma coming from the West? Well, what the hell does that mean? You could be forgiven for feeling it's a bit obtruse, but listen again. Listen to the heart longing, to the desperate sincerity of the asker. What is the meaning of Bodhidharma from the West? Don't let this become an intellectual exercise. I invite you to make the question your own. The words don't matter so much. In the end, there is really only one question, and the world asks it. It is beyond words, but if you listen carefully, your heart will hear it. Do you hear? Good. Now, who hears? Who hears? I ask you a question. Who? All right, so what question do you have? What question? So it's you. I am asking a bunch of Unitarian Universalists and nobody has a question? The meaning, what is the meaning of the universe? What did you say? 42. 42. That's an answer. That's an answer. Okay, here's the question behind that answer. What is 42 an answer? What book is that 42 the answer? Hitchhiker. Yes, yes, yes. Isn't that not a great book to read? Yes. All right. Any other questions? Question. What is the question in your heart? Yes. What? Why is it so loud? That's because I'm speaking too closely to the microphone. Why is it so loud? Why is it, the universe, so loud right now? Or why is the hatred so loud? Why is it so noisy? Good question. Questions here. Questions. What are the questions? What is the meaning of unconditional love? Whoa, that's a question. Right. These are very good questions. How about this one? Help! 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 Yes? This help, the meaning of Bodhidharma from the West. You know, it's hard to live the questions. It's hard to even ask questions. About 20 years ago, there was this really cool curriculum that came out for mainline church folk. And guess what it was called? Living the Questions. Yeah. It was a DVD of all these great theologians of the time, and biblical scholars, like Walter Wink and Rosemary Ruther Hayes and other great theologians, that would get people to question their assumptions. And you're supposed to stop the DVD and get the people who are gathered around for the study to ask questions and not provide answers. And we would do this, but guess what? People didn't like it. Sometimes I didn't like it either. I mean, here I was, the teacher / minister. Aren't I supposed to provide some answers sometimes? It got me thinking, why is it that we hate living in the question so? Why is it that we always prefer an answer? I mean, if you haven't really been in that situation, imagine yourself as a dad to 3-year-olds. Asking question after question after question, and pretty soon you hear yourself saying some pretty ridiculous answers. Like, because I said so. So I was asking, it's about 20 years ago, I was in Montana, and of course, all around me, all of the good churches were shrinking and shrinking, and all of the churches that, are more fundamentalist, they were growing and growing. And I started to understand something. People like being told answers. Answers make people feel safe. Some people like to be told how to think. You know why? Because then they can turn around and tell other people how to think. That's why. That gives you power. And power is nice. You see, that's how empires and despotic monarchies work. There's a whole chain of people telling other people below them how to think. And there's a king on top who hopefully looks and thinks like you. Hopefully. You pray. You better pray. In these societies, questions are really dangerous. A king doesn't want people questioning why he's king or how he got to be king. His viceroys don't like it either. No branch of government can be independent. Nobody can be independent because the king has to have all the answers. Better have all the answers. I wonder if there might be some people who are having difficulty living questions right now. Did you hear they want to make a law protecting Christians from discrimination? Christians who, for the most part, already are the majority faith in this country. And for the most part, except for the liberal Christians who are in the minority, don't believe in teaching science, history, or social studies, English or art in public schools. Why? Because it might threaten their biblical view of history, their biblical view of gender relationships, their biblical view of ecological dominion. And you can't have that. You couldn't have discrimination against Christians now, could you? But here's the thing. Few of these views held today, so cherished by Project 25, were actually held by our founding mothers and fathers who framed our Constitution, because those people were children of the Enlightenment. And the Enlightenment and its thought is simply far more liberal than conservative religious thought today. It just is. Conservative religious thought that wishes to put religion back at the center of all things is actually a rejection of the Enlightenment, which wanted to put reason at the center of all things, not religion. And you know what? Democracy doesn't work without the Enlightenment. Period. Attleboro. One of the things I've really come to love and cherish about Attleboro is that around Christmas, there's this sign that comes up on somebody's lawn, I don't know who, and it says, Christ is the answer. The answer to what? What am I going to have for lunch? Christ. Those communion wafers, though. What if there was a question mark at the end? Christ is the answer? Now that would be a UU sign. What about this one? This is more like you see on a bumper sticker. Love is the answer. Is it though? I mean, think about the time you really felt like you were in love. Like, you knew it, like, oh my God, oh boy. You know, you feel it, like, oh. Did it feel like a safe answer? No. It felt like a burning question. That's what that is, right? How about like when you fell in love with your child or your grandchild, and you knew that you would do anything for that human being? Is that an answer? Is that a question? What about community? You really love a community. Is that which brings you? Is that a question or is that an answer? What about a nation that you really love and how you would do anything to serve it? And when you keep yourself up at night over it, which I'm sure none of you are doing right now. Is that a question or is that an answer? Our new values, justice, equity, transformation, etc., things that we passed as you use. It's all based around what? Love. All based around this great engine question, love. The center of everything we do. I like it. Ask the question. Live the question. Easy for me to say, right? I'm not the one hanging from a branch by my teeth, or am I? Ask the question. What can I do to love this person more? Ask the question, what is the true meaning of faith? Ask the question, what does it mean to be a beloved community? Ask the question, what might it mean to be a just nation? Ask the question, ask the question. Oh, these questions, they're breaking my heart. And people are knocking on our doors more and more. We feel like if we open our mouths to answer, we will fall. But how about this? What if we got together as a community and we helped each other down from the branch? And together, we all ask the questions. Like the cake beneath the icing is always more powerful than the answer lying on top of it. The question's worth living for. That's what we do. How? Why? For whom? Freedom, liberty, inequality, these were never answers. They were always questions. Questions that need to be asked, demanded, every day. For if they do not, they become an answer. And an answer can only be told by whomever is the biggest narcissist in the room. Let us not come to that. Let us join together on the great and fundamental question. Let us live the fundamental question. Let us become the question. Blessed be.